to the 5 minute, 1 hour intraday pathway. And this is actually going to be probably the last 5 minute learning 1 hour intraday DEX indicators webinar you're going to see. We're actually going to switch these into a DEX trader, DEX indicators, and DEX signals webinar that we're going to do. So it'll be pretty cool. Let me go ahead and kill some of these background noises here. But that's pretty cool. What just popped up, Michael?
That you were out of space.
Oh, yeah. No, I got that. Yeah. So, yeah, because of recording, we have to record it. All right. So tonight is going to be a very special webinar. And on with us tonight as co-presenter is Michael Ficca, he's a senior level 2 trader with DEX signals and DEX indicators and Our City Investments. But he grew into this position from starting where everybody else starts at, from zero, and worked his way all the way up through the process. And welcome, Michael.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everybody.
So, Michael, as somebody who is brand new to the world of really trading in this kind of level, Michael, what do you think your biggest obstacle was when you first started with us?
I think probably it was fear of the new system, because I was so used to overseas trading and with 1 minute trades and getting robbed overseas, and I was really nervous and trying to get over that. I guess the initial fear, first of all, and then that was quickly quelled by all the great training that we receive here at DEX. It's fantastic.
Okay. So you had some fear pockets that were sort of messing with you, trying to figure stuff out.
Yep.
And what do you think your biggest challenge was on breaking through that fear? And how long do you think it took you to get through that fear?
It took me at least 200 trades to get comfortable in demo, and basically your videos and the training, and believe it or not, all these webinars that I was at every day. I don't think I think I missed one since I started in August.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, I'm visual. I need to see it. So that for me overcame everything for me.
And Michael's touching on here too, and why I'm going down this line of questioning with Michael too, is because when you first start out here, you have the same fears as everybody else does. And Michael had those fears. Okay. When I first started doing trading, I had those fears. But how do I relay that to all of you? So Michael's telling you from his point of view on what you're going through right now. And this is very important for all of you to hear, that you are going to have fears. But he surrounded himself with the training, and he put himself into the trades, and he submersed himself into the webinars and being here. That's why we're going to turn these webinars into a multiplex of learning and asking questions and being involved and being a part of it. Did you get anything from the chat rooms on board? Were the trader chat rooms on board pretty good for you?
Yeah. Paul was very influential in the very beginning for me, as well as Thor, because I was doing 20-minute binaries in the very beginning with Thor, and it was just me, him, and one other guy, a gentleman from Iceland. Was it Heidvig? Heidvig, I guess it was. And so I would pick their brains. I'd go in there. I guess you guys know that when you go into the chat rooms, there's like a instant messenger private. So I would pick their brains and ask them questions, and they were great. And I'm like, man, if I ever get to that point, I'm going to help people like that.
Right. And that's what you did. Michael got into that room, he's being a little bit modest here, was very influential in a lot of people's lives in the system, because he took opportunity to answer questions and be a part of it, like we did with him. So we paid it forward, and he pays it forward. And that's what everybody else here, if you have that ability, you don't always have to do that. But you see a name like senior next to a name, like Ken or Michael or Paul or anybody else that's in there, Dan, you can ask them questions and be a part of it. That community, that structure is very powerful. Okay, so you got a little bit about Michael. It doesn't matter what his background is or experience. It doesn't matter. You weren't a full-time trader prior to, right? You didn't do this for a living, did you?
Oh, no. Okay. Casino worker, casino dealer. I was a realtor. I was fast food manager. I mean, you go way back. Now I'm a DJ, so that
Right.
gives me lots of time to trade.
Yeah, but you're also disciplined. You're a little creative. You could be in your
Well,
head, out of your head. So yeah, so these things work.
discipline because of you. I started as the most undisciplined trader ever in this company.
You
That's the
still
truth.
got it, baby, but you're
Yes,
getting
thank you.
there.
I know. I know. I know.
But listen, even the way you're at right now, you're still listen. You are doing such a great job. I'm very proud of you because
Mhm.
there is. It takes so much. Listen, I'm a 16-year veteran of the military. I have worked throughout out my life period as being a very highly disciplined individual, but yet I still have my moments of mass weakness, to where I push that greed monster gets in my face. I have all these things happen. So even for the most disciplined people, it is a challenge. So don't beat yourself up too much, but you do. And I find where people like your mentality behind the discipline side, you end up coming more into your own very fast because you don't like how it feels not to be,
Not at all.
right? Because you're creative to know where this game is going, so you begin to pick it up pretty quickly, and that's what made you who you are right now. And I appreciate that. I'm glad I was able to give you some insight to get you to that point, but you personally are the one that's made it, and so you should congratulate yourself, and everybody should congratulate Michael too, because it's a very difficult process to get through, and Ken's seeing it, and other people in our network are seeing it now on how powerful it really is, and the work it does take to get there. Okay, so anybody here within the network, is anybody new? Has anybody not bought in yet to the program before we push on here with past this little introduction here? Just type the word new in the room there if you are new. If you haven't bought in yet and you're still kind of figuring if this is the place for you, just go ahead and type new in the box there and we'll say hello. I think I've only had one webinar where nobody said anything. Oh, there we go. So good. We have another webinar. I'm new, but just joined today. God, my screen's just on. Oh, Benny.
Jim,
Okay,
Benny, good
welcome,
morning.
Benny.
Welcome.
Benny's new, but he just joined today. Congratulations. Thank you very much for your trust to be here. Jim, I hope we can earn your trust, and Paul, I hope we can earn your trust. Maybe not if by the end of this webinar, at some time to get this process going. You're going to see inside that there is a lot to be offered from this system, but there's a lot of information here. As we go through tonight, I'm going to provide you with just a little bit of information about who we are and what we're doing. Of course, you're going to get a lot of that by other webinars and other things that we do in the training that you have. But I want you to listen to the sincerity. I want you to listen to the premise of other people. You're going to see a lot of other people's doing trades and seeing things in. We're probably not going to trade tonight online. We probably won't be doing any trading online tonight. But I will be showing you results of other people's trades that are not mine for a reason. Because I can trade pretty well, and even though in and out of the system, I want you to see real people that have come, like Michael and Paul and Ken and other people, that it's real for those people. Okay, and these aren't people that are being paid by the network to be here to tell you a certain thing or not. These are people that have earned their right through the process to be here and worked very hard to be here through that solution. But as anybody, any system out there, there has to be an understanding of risk and earnings disclaimer. Everything that we're doing is about education and trade assistance only. Okay, we want to help you become a proficient trader, but I'm not going to tell you the exact trades to take and force you to go take them at those rates and tell you what rates to take and market prices and things like that. I'm going to give you suggestions. I'm going to show you the trades. They're going to be from either signals or from indicators, but you still have to make that final decision and apply your risk management to it. Okay, I can't tell you how many contracts exactly to get. I can only tell you what I suggest to help keep you from risk of ruin. All right. And finally, all results may vary. What this means is that if you see Michael's work in there, doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get that kind of work done. And if you see mine or anybody else's, you may not be able to do that. You might be able to do better, or you might come out doing worse. So you just have to apply some of the rules and things that we talk about tonight, and you'll see what we're referring to later. Okay. Now, this is normally where I would talk about the 5-minute pathway and doing a lot of work, but I'm going to summarize a little bit tonight because I want to get into a few things that have been released and sort of show you, as even some of the new people, a handful of new people, but 29 something people in the system that are either customers or people that have bought in. and want to see some of the things that are releasing and some of the new things that are releasing. Um, as a network, when we first started out building any system, we started out with the idea that we wanted to have a network to where we could provide signals to individuals to learn how to not just learn how to trade, but to actually trade and make money while they were learning. Okay. So when we started providing signals, we started to provide something to certain individuals that um, who wanted more from it, that maybe they wanted to learn how to trade, not just follow a signal, not just be, I won't say sheep, that's a detriment, but I want to say that you were just following a number and you really didn't get a lot of worth out of that for you. A lot of people like to be hands-on, don't they, Michael?
Yes,
Are you one of those
definitely.
hands-on kind of people?
I am. Funny story. The new systems coming out, Dex Trader, made it brutally simple for everybody. And if you know Max like I know Max, Max wants to train you how that Dex Trader works. So I was fortunate enough to learn in indicators the proper way to trade,
Right.
and then I can see it actually happening by pressing a button. It just makes it easier to to eventually place your trades. But if you
Mhm.
know Max like I know Max, it's like man, I'm making it easy for everybody, and he is, and it's fantastic. But the real Max would like to trade, would like to train you on what that candle means and what that arrow means and where you
Of
should go from
course.
that arrow.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
absolutely.
I had to
No,
say
that's it. Don't be
it.
sorry. You're absolutely right. The design of Dex Signals was designed around giving people an opportunity because the industry, listen, the industry sucks. How many people can agree with me that the industry sucks? That this industry is riddled with scammers and rip-off artists and people want to take your money and just I don't know. They'd come and take your car and the last morsel of food on your table if they could, right? It's
Brutal.
riddled with it. Okay. This industry is brutal. It's a nightmare. And to try to find a company that would even do anything to help you is almost an impossibility. Damn forbid have anybody have a contact that you could actually call and talk to, or write into a chat to, or email and get a response within 48 to 72 hours, or have a system that actually worked, or a chat room that you could just go into and say, hey, I need some help, and somebody freaking help you. Or, hey, maybe you got a problem with a piece of software that they're telling you to download or an indicator that they have, and you can't get a hold of them. We designed this company centered around one big thing. That's what we center around. We circle the wagons, baby. And we tell you right off the bat, it takes work. The biggest thing that you have to do is it takes work. And while you're in here working this out, we're here for you. We answer questions. We figure stuff out. We find what part you need to do. We create you a safe environment. Now, what is a safe environment in trading, right? A biggest one is teaching how to trade and demo. Now, most people are like, well, does your system work in live? Or, don't even worry about live money. It's like if you're practicing to join the big leagues, if you're looking to become a pro trader, you don't learn with real money. You learn with demo. And let's put the big boy pants on just for a second. Okay. Let's put the adult talk in the room. Anybody who goes and trades with real money right off the bat is just asking for themselves to be broke. I don't care how
I
much
get it.
money you have.
I'm guilty of that.
Absolutely, you're guilty of it. But guess what? So am I. So who better to tout this than us?
Hmm.
Who better to tell you what not to do? Do you want to lose $50,000 or $110,000 like I did in overseas binaries? No. Maybe some of you won't lose that money by listening to this. Maybe some of you, just one of you, even one of you is a big hit for me to save you. Don't put money into overseas binaries. Not at all. Managed accounts, robots, anything. Don't put anything and anything over there. And I'm not saying to put it all through me. That'd be nice, right? We had everybody just go from overseas binaries to here. There'd be 1,000, 20,000 people in this thing. Imagine what we could build with that. But the point being is that we center everything that we do around the individual. We treat everybody here that's in the room as investors in our company. Why? Because we want you to be successful, not just for money. And I say not just, right? Because anybody tells you that, I'm here to be philanthropic. I want to give the world peace and stuff. Yeah, okay, bullshit. Okay. We're here to make money. We're a business. But what we do with that money is we become very responsible with what we build. Because we know as a company, if we continue to build and grow the fashion that what we started with signals. We advanced into indicators, and now we're releasing Dex Trader. When we started signals, it took us a year and a half to build this, a year and a half to get it up to the people that we had it to. When we released Dex indicators, it took 1.5 months to get from the same size indicators to what it took us a month and a half to get to the same size Dex signals. That's it. A month and a half. This took a year and a half to build up to that level. This took a month and a half to get to that. And trust me, it's not some tiny little two or 4 man person. This is 13. We have like 1,300 people in the network now, and so there was like 600 or 700 people in Dex signals. And Dex indicators doubled, got that many people plus into it within a month and a half. We don't even know what Dex Trader is going to do. Something like 15 minutes or something. It'll be the same size as everything. But we'll explain to what Dex Trader is here in just a minute. So if a company is submerged into an industry that is riddled with danger and brutalness that this market is, and it's something you still want to do, you still want to be here, and you still want to be in this industry and fight because the money can be good, and this is something you do want to do because you want to work from home, right? And working from home is a very difficult thing to do because it's a business mentality, right? How many times have any of you went to start a project and you've got the woman who swallowed the fly syndrome? Anybody? Do you know what I'm talking about, Michael?
I can't say that I do.
I'll give you an example. I'm springing this on Michael too, so it's not like we're printed with a script here. So this is what happens. I want to learn how to become a trader. Why? Because there's good money in it, right? Okay. So in order to become a trader, you find out quickly, you look up online, you hit Dr. Google and say, how do I become a trader? Well, first thing you're going to do is you're going to get inundated with a whole bunch of crap that's online. But you're going to have to find out you need a computer. So if you don't have a computer experience, what do you got to do? I got to get some. Then you find out I'm going to need charting software. So what happens? You go out and you try to find some charts that work. But you don't know how to read them, so you got to learn how to read them. And now you know how to read them. Now you want to learn how to trade and what to trade on. So you got to find a broker or an exchange. And then that broker and exchange needs to treat, you need to learn about it. You see where I'm going with this? So in order to get back to, hey, I want to trade, you got to do all these things, right? And then once you learn all of those things, guess what happens? You find out that your broker is crooked. And all that work you did to get there, all that time you spent is lost because the money's gone. The big hit happened. So you have to find somebody within a network that focuses on you. Because if you don't have that, if they don't focus on you, if they don't understand your issue, if they don't understand that, hey, not everybody has computer experience. That's why we do remote accesses to help set stuff up. That's why we have Dex Signals or Dex Trader for you. Not everybody wants to just follow a signal. They want to be more entailed and learn about the strategy. That's why we have Dex indicators. That's why we have consults that you meet with a senior trader, myself or one of the others. So this system is really about how do we take that part of you that wants to trade? Because now let's be real. First is you, then is what? How to make money. In order to do that, a couple things need to happen. You need to become consistent, right? Can anybody agree with that? You need to be consistent in this industry to make money?
Absolutely.
Right. So once you get to consistency, we simply add what, Michael?
Volume.
Volume. Now, this is not volume in trades, okay? Because the C is actually equal to the trades, right? So if you do, say, 4 trades a day, the consistently winning 4 trades a day, you just have to add contracts now. So the V equals contracts. And if a contract is worth about $20 and you're winning it, you're winning about $80 a day. In order to win 160 with the same amount of work done, you just need to do 2 contracts. And now you just need to add your time in when you can trade and when you can't trade. So you have to be in working with companies that understand this algorithm, that understand this perplexity of this network, that focus all on you first, not about the money first. Right? Okay. Us as Dex Signals devise this program on the trades themselves that performed and provided us with data. And data is a very important feature to all that we do because it will give us an understanding of what the market is, not just from ups and downs and buys and puts and calls and wins and losses, but from how much data is provided by you, the customer, as well. And not about what your buying stuff is and all that kind of happy horseshit, but I'm talking about serious trade analysis of who you are as a trader. Once you become very proficient at trading, and you're providing us journals on what you're doing and transactional history and things like that, we can easily start to find out what your best rates are, where you fit in the best, what's your Einstein window. This analysis can come to you. But what we focus on in these beginning relationships, okay, and the first thing is we begin to train you. Okay. And training you, we teach you how to learn from a process of stripping away all the madness, right? How many of you have ever gone to a company out there and they give you a charting system and it looks crazy, right? It looks like kind of something like this, right? How many have ever seen that before? You know, you get a chart looking like this process in here. And you kind of go a little bit nuts, right? Because you're like every single one of these little bars and actives and arrows and everything has its own rule base. And this rule base is inundated with 3 or 4 other filters and profiles and craziness. Now, listen, if you're a professional technical trader and you're first starting out, you know, do you really want to see this? I don't know.
I don't want to see it now.
For me, I have a master's in chemical management, and I find myself to be a very smart individual, but even I get lost in any of this. So how can a system like this work for beginner traders? They can't. The companies that provide this kind of stuff, they have a market, but it's for people that really need to have this overvalued, overlooked, overanalyzed process. Congratulations. Right? So, put it back up there. It keeps wanting to come back. But in training, we're not teaching you everything there is to learn about the market. We're teaching you your very first thing, which is discipline. Is discipline. And that discipline that needs to happen has to happen in such a way that you can depend on it and get to that consistency level, right? Because once you do consistency, what happens? You add your volume, and this will get you to your goal. It's very simple. So I could sit and show you all the different systems and dyads and programs and assets and everything. Okay. But until you want to make this happen, until you want to see it happen for you, no system out there is going to work for you until you physically want to make this thing happen for you. Because I do have to tell you, and I hate to say this about anybody's program, but this program would work for you. Yeah, I'm going to say that. This program could work for you. This company's program, Apex Investing, Apex Network, whatever it is, could work for you. But you have to put the discipline in to figure all these things out for you. And the reason you haven't yet is because maybe you didn't start off simple enough. Maybe this is someplace down the road for you, maybe 2 or 3 years from now. Who knows? But if it's not for you now, what is for you? You need to find it. So what we pride ourselves on is stripping back all that other nonsense, because if all those little things, there was about 40 things on that sheet, got 40 different indicators and 40 different processes that are happening there. So if there's 40 happening there, and each one of them has one rules, that's 40 rules, right? That's just in case one of them, one or two of them there have maybe 2 or 3 rules for each one. So you could be dealing with 80 to 100 rules. Okay. In the markets that we teach in any of the processes, I show you that only 2 things affect the market, and it's time and price. Very simple. Okay. Time and price is a very simple process to kind of think about. One is linear, so it kind of goes like this, right? And the time makes it move forward, and price makes it go up and down, right? That's the only 2 things you need to worry about in any trading program. The simplicity of looking at what we call price action and knowing that solution for you is the only thing you really know. And that's the solid foundation of everything. Because without it, all that nonsense you've seen on the previous chart, none of that will make sense. None of it. If you don't start out there, none of that stuff. Nobody ever starts with this process anymore. I think there used to be one person out there, Chris Capri, started out with time and price and dealing with price action, but he sort of dived away from that to be more technical trading to that level. And it's a shame because he was on the right path. He was the one that sort of guided me into that line and way of thinking. And I stripped it back even further. So I'll give credit where credit's due, but I'll also chastise where credit is taken away from, because there is too many people out there that try to make it overcomplicated. And no, it can't be uber simple that just give me a chart with no indicators on it and I'll tell you which way the market's going to go. Some people can do that. I could probably trade at certain times of the day for that, but only because I'm looking at things that I know that I'm looking at. So what did we provide you in DEX? In any of the DEXs that we have, we've provided you with some simple formats. Whether it's DEX indicators, DEX signals, or DEX trader, it all comes back down to trading. So the biggest fundamental you'll learn right off the bat is how to use Nadex, right? This is the North American Derivative Exchange. And this is a powerful network that we use in our system called Nadex Ninja. And in any of our systems, it's automatically free. That's the other great thing. You can go in there and train with that, and it doesn't even cost you anything. You can go get a free membership and train with that. It doesn't cost you anything. Are you guys getting it? Because we want to be able to help you. We want you trained at least some way, part of the way, even before you pay any money. Because we know that the faster you can get to that style of training and getting through your demo into live money where you're making money, where do you think that if you find value to our process and our tools, where do you think our ROI comes from? It doesn't come from you being broke, does it? Does that sound too callous, Michael?
No, it's true. You got to. I mean, this is one place that I've come to respect you more than anything, is you tell the truth no matter what.
It's hurtful at times.
Yep.
But the idea is that we want you to be in there and make money. And not just for the obvious reasons, by the way, either. I mean, come on, we want some bragging rights here. Okay, we've trained over 1,300 people in this network. We've worked pretty hard. We have a couple of hundred people in paying for the process. And I only ever really hear about 30 or 40 of them at any one time, because they're all out making money. Most of them, they don't want to be involved in something bigger than them. They just want to go in and make money, right? They don't want to be teaching like Michael's doing or what some other people are doing. I know Dr. Brian Bonner wants to be more into the process because he's that humanitarian type of excuse me. I just started choking on my own coffee. Humanitarian kind of person. Okay, but you don't have to be that. If you're just here to learn how to trade so you can make some money, that's cool too. I'm not here to force feed you down some sort of charity path. But the idea too here is to bring you in so you can make money. And of course, keep DEX. Because every day DEX is around, we keep building, don't we?
Yes, we do.
By the way, do most of you know how long it took? This was 1.5 years ago that we started this company here for DEX Signals, 1.5 years. We kind of got through some hills and moguls and some some pitfalls in this one. But in March of this year, we revamped everything about Dex Signals, and we made it all about you and customer service and training and that kind of stuff. Once we did, so from March to right now, what's that? 9 months. In the last 9 months, our success rate has been through the roof with Dex Signals. And in the last month and a half, Dex Indicators got the same size as Dex Signals is. So if you want just to take signals with a little bit of information and learn how to trade and confirm the signals, Dex Signals is a place to be. If you want to learn about taking trades, learning how to take, physically find the signal yourself in the process using the tools, Dex Indicators. And of course, a combination of both, which will happen here very soon, is the dextrader.com. Sort of simplifies the process really, really well with what's coming out here for it. And I'll show you some of each as we go forward here. So we all kind of understand now that Dex Signals, or Our City Investments, wants to build a relationship with you and not just provide you a service. That's why we refer to you as investors and not customers. And this Dex trading family of systems that we've created, you will find a place to be at. Now, some of you that started about 5-6 months ago, even past, I'd say 10 weeks ago from being here, if you were here during that time, your money that you paid back then helped us build Dex Indicators and also Dex Trader. And those that were here roughly about a month and a half ago, almost 2 months, 8 weeks ago, helped us build Dex Indicators and Dex Trader. So some of you are going to receive Dex Trader for free. And so Amy's going to be putting out an email to the majority of those people for beta testing tomorrow to come on board to accept your free copy of this process. And you'll never have to pay for it from that point. Just your regular Dex Signal system or Dex Indicator system, whatever you have now. Benny, that Nadex Ninja course is absolutely free. If you go in and join as a free member to any one of the services, Dex Signals or Dex Indicators, it's free in there. So you can go ahead and do that if you'd like at that point. So you could wait to that point. Do you have to? Absolutely not. If you want to invest in the company and the time is now, then go ahead and do so. It will be appreciated, guaranteed, but you can wait too. All right. So next up here on the agenda for tonight is, yeah, it is going to be legendary, Brian. Next on the agenda tonight, and I know on these ones I take a little bit of lead here and talk a lot, but I want Michael to be here and have a voice. I mean, his turn will be tomorrow. I'm trying to give him. He's very visual and he's very. He needs to hear it done and see it done. So I'm trying to give him a little bit of everything, which I would go down to while he's going to go through these here this coming week. So I appreciate it, Michael. Thanks for letting me drag on.
Oh, sure.
All right. So the next part of what we're going to talk about tonight, before we get into the questions and answers for this evening, is that I want to kind of show you a little bit of what is happening with Dex Indicators to Dex Trader. Now, in Dex Trader, what we're doing in the very first release of Dex Trader is that in this phase 1 beta release that we're releasing with it, it's really going to be sort of an over-glorified system of Dex Signals, which will provide signals, it'll provide the charts. If some of you are brand new or have been here a while and you've been in Dex Signals at all, have you seen the new spreadsheet? And oh my God, is it wonderful. I don't know if you've seen the new signal spreadsheet, but man, is it beautiful. Here, let me see if I'm going to pull up a value of it real quick here in just 1 second. There you go. Let me get you in here. Check this out. This is on Dex Signals. This is our friends over at Dex Signals. This is amazing, right? Check this out. This is a new signals page. Okay, still have charts, still have news, still have the trader room. Hello, everybody that's kind of left and came over here. But this is the new signals page, intraday and dailies on the same page. Look at this. Look how fast this switches over. Michael, is this amazing or what?
Mm-hmm.
Because before you would go from page to page or you refresh and it would have to be loading. It was always loading.
Yep.
It was always loading. It was crazy. The reason why is that, and I don't want to be long and drawn out with this, but the reason why it was always loading, because we had one web page that all the information, and the web page calculated the win-loss ratio and all that kind of stuff. And so we had a signal system that would send it to that web page, and then the web page would calculate it, and it would always be thinking, right? So every new person that came to it would make it think every minute. And so we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people getting to it. So it was overthinking and it was getting tired and crashing out. So we knew that in this phase of Dex Trader being taken out, we wanted to make a new platform that did this. We made a calculational software, okay, and then the display server. And what happens is that, I'm sorry, here's how it looks. It's not display, because this is the display right here. So we have the signal system, okay, and then the calculation. So the signal is delivered to calculation, and then calculation to Dex signals, where this is displayed just on a page, right? So the signal is directed by, a whole bunch of things that find and house the signal. And then when it fires the signals off, it does it in two directions. It does one to the calculation and one to our Twitter feed system, Twitter. And so you get that acknowledgement, and then also to our calculation software, and then Dex Signals displays it, right? In Dex Trader, the same thing's going to happen, okay? But here's what happens here. There are two main functions of it. Signals fires off to calculation, and then calculation fires it off here and to here. This is the signals page, and this is what we call the DPC, the Data Processing Center. And why this is so cool is because it takes all that information, okay? You got the calculational win and loss ratio here, and then you got the Data Processing Center here, which does something that's pretty incredible as well. And let me see if I can get over.
Show them, Matt. Show them.
I'm going to show them. Be patient. Here we go. But I wanted to get for you all
patience.
Yeah, right. All right, here we go. So here is the Dex Trader Beta 1 release page. Now, what we also did is that we didn't put it all into one app, one web app just yet, because we wanted to test each one of the features. Later on, it'll be in a simple web app that you'll be able to see on your tablet or on your web form or what have you. So very powerful. But here's the daily and the intraday. Sort of looks the same as the signals because it sort of is the same process. And then jump over to the Data Processing Center. And why this is so cool, because like on daily results, it'll tell you what the lifetime success of the signals are. Look, 7,300 signals, 97% for the last month, 88.9% for the last week, because today was a tough day on daily signals apparently, right? But then it breaks it down per asset. Which one was the best one for the lifetime, the year, the month, the week, the what have you. Because when you get a signal that comes out, right? You get a signal that comes out and you're curious about how well it's done, British Gold Pound USD on the daily, you just jump over here, and you can come down to something like this and see how well it's done. See how powerful this is? And you can tell, well, you know what? I'm trading in the Japanese market and it's 3 o'clock in the evening or it's 3 o'clock in the morning, EST. I don't think I should probably trade this one, right? Because you don't have a good feeling about this. It's at 66% at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, later on, you'll be able to click on hours, like to find out what hours, each hour does. And I'll have that here in the second release of the phase. Okay. But for now, I'm just picking the best hour and what have you. Or if it's the 1 o'clock one, you say it's 100%, right? But if you look over the past, for the week, how well is it done, and start rephases back on every Monday. But you can also flip over and look at the intraday, how well it's done. Okay? So the system here is all about information and data, because this is going to help you better choose which intraday ones to take and which ones not to take. Later in the Data Processing Center, you're also going to have news results too, which you'll be able to click on, and it'll have the data from the different news organizations and those news release informations. And it will tell you how well that trade's done during those times as well. And why am I saying it so softly? Because I don't want the competition to hear. Yeah, because they're going to complain. Yeah, they're going to complain. Trust me. We also are going to have our restriction system in there for news, which means that it won't. There'll be two parts of the process that'll happen. There'll be a button that you'll be able to push without news and with news, right? And so you'll be able to see the signals, success rate with the news and without the news. So you can actually push, no, I don't want to see them with news, and it'll show you signals with just without any news, without it taken out. And or you want to bypass news altogether, you'll be able to click this selection and it'll just show signals in there that will release on the news. So these are features that'll be released in phase 3 and 4 of this system, but I wanted you to know what you're building and what we're building for you through this process. Now, I haven't hit all the marks just yet on our time frames of getting everything out. We're about 2 weeks behind on phase 1 releasing for Dex Indicator or Dex Trader, but I don't think that's too bad since we've run into some snafus. The biggest snafu is that, like, remember I said in the beginning that this industry sucks? Well, when we were building out trying to find data to feed all of these systems with 4x data, we had about 5 companies say yes, it was okay to use the data. We start using the data, and then they come back at us wanting more money, or they have us start and then find out what we're building and reject us. It's crazy. This industry is riddled with greed. And one company and I'll even mention this one tonight. What is it, Oneida or Oneida, whatever it's called, right? They came at us. They wanted us to have the data for $75 a month. Okay. And then found out a month later what we were building. And because it wasn't like I wasn't telling them what we were building. I'm very upfront with these companies, and I'm telling them, this is what we're doing. And then they came back, and just anybody want to guess how much? I won't even let you guess. It'd be an insult. They wanted to charge me $4,500 a month. Right. And that was just for data. Okay. So what did we do? The only thing we could do. We had to make our own data system. Yeah, that's right. We created a Dex data network, which we'll never use for the general public. We'll only be using it for ourselves. So you'll never see it in a website. You'll never see it out there being charged $75 a month trying to keep up with the Joneses. Okay, we're only going to use it for ourselves. Why? Because no one can take it away from us then. Right? So, and then let's talk about one other thing. Most of you seen that in Dex Trader. Another feature that is really powerful is our charting platform. Now, this charting platform is a little skewed at the moment. I still have to fix this tonight. But this is just a temporary chart that's up here right now. I mean, it does work. I mean, you can add indicators to it. You can add Bollinger Bands. Look at this. This is amazing, right? It's all here. You can go all the way in. You can add other currencies, other time frames. Later on, you'll be able to add our indicators that we have, like the trend reverse, the 5-minute signal, the DEX daily signal, all directly to the chart. Yeah, I said it. It's okay. We have a flag and pennant chart, an indicator that's coming out. Well, it's already out, but the strategy is going to be turned into a signal base. So all this could be just overlaid onto the chart. You could use it for Forex. You could use it for at the money binaries on Nadex, what have you. But all of it will be button pushed for the chart. And how powerful is that for you? For some of you that are both DEX indicator oriented, but yet not so tech savvy to load them up and have to worry about dragging your desktop everywhere, this is going to be a huge time saver for you. Because you'll be able to do things like click and drag and move it around on your screen and have it full screen just like that. How huge is that? Now, the company that supplies us, and I even took their name off of it, the company that supplies us this process did this to us this morning. And this is very frustrating. Sort of what Oneida did with us. They told us that we could use the system for free because we were helping a lot of people. And we're very happy about that. But then they came back to us and said, I'm sorry, you're going to need to give us a 10K deposit. Okay. And you have to make all your people sign up for $29.99 a month. And it became very frustrating and very obvious to me that fell victim to another company that in this industry, offers their product to the general public for free in order to get your information and then have you buy all these pro tools and all this extra shit. And it becomes very frustrating. So what did we say? Hell no. And then what did we have to do? What do you think we did? Michael, can you go down that line? What do you think we did?
Uh,
We
we
built
after you
Dex
told him hell
charts.
no, build him your Dex charts.
Yeah,
Exactly. Build it yourself.
that's right. We built Dex charts. Now, Dex charting is being developed today by myself and one other programmer. And we're going to be doing so over the next 2 weeks. We're looking for a January 5th release. Now, what this means is that everything that we're building in here, the Dex signals, all the trader network, all the indicators, all the data processing, all of it. There's not one outsourced company except for the servers being used by anybody else. So nobody, except if you're like GoDaddy or HostGator, could come in and say, we want it all, or we're going to stop your service. We are now 100% leverage free. Well, 99.9% leverage free. Okay, because that 0.1% could be, HostGator saying that they don't want us to host websites anymore for some reason. I don't know. You know what I mean? So what more can we do from this point? So how exciting is that Dex Trader is actually going to be its own completely independent. Now, the only other thing that we'll have on there is reliance on is investing.com's news thing or Forex Factory. Please don't please, I hope, and this is a video out, it's going to be very public, but please, investing.com or Forex Factory, if you're watching this, if you make me make a news freaking service, I swear to God, I'm going to shoot myself in the face. Don't make me do a news thing too, okay? Because you guys have always, investing.com has been one cool company. I've dealt with a lot of the people that are over there, and they are one kick-ass company, right? They really are about helping as many people. They're riddled with advertisements to keep it all free, and I got to tell you, I applaud them on the audacity they have to stick it to the man to a lot of things that they do. So I'm very, very happy with them. So please, I've kissed enough ass there. So I hope that works out. But so that's basically where we sit at here with the releases there. So if you're new to us, if you haven't been with us very long, or you've been with us for a while, you know the progressions we're making are milestones, and they're light years in advance to what you've probably used to seeing in this market, in this industry. And even in fact, if you've been with us more than a year, you're probably like, holy crap, how far we've come in a year, and how important that is in that growth model. With every new customer that we bring on, we get closer and closer to making this thing such a reality for so many people, thousands and thousands of people making money within these networks. So I look forward to being able to make it happen for all of us. Michael, do you have anything to say as far as in conclusion?
No, I mean, this is for me, from where I started to now is eons away from when we started. It's phenomenal. Very excited to see it. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm pacing and I'm waiting to get that email, Amy.
Yeah,
Tomorrow
send
morning.
Michael. We got to we're gonna have you go over tonight because you're like a little kid on Christmas that wants to open
I
it up the
am,
day
man.
before.
It's great compared
Yes,
to
it
where I
was.
was. I mean, like I literally started from the very, very beginning, and this is going to make my life so much easier as well. Um, you know, uh, just like Max said, from where we came from and gotten ripped off, he had to make a proprietary system so nobody could take it from him. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The amount of work this man has done. It's crazy. I'm just finding out more tonight. It was really, really, really crazy.
Yeah. Well, listen, you haven't been privy to a lot of the conversation, a lot of the process. I could show you countless amount of emails from companies threatening to come after us and close us down, and even bodily harm at points. I even moved to New Hampshire, so I could see you coming, right? You come up
Look,
my
Max,
750-foot
Amy's
driveway.
telling me to relax now too. That's your favorite word with me. Relax, just relax.
Relax, shit. Yeah, you're okay. You're all good. And it's tough. This industry is a bear, and you gotta learn how to fight like a bear. Um, but listen, strength in numbers, right?
Hmm.
Look at how many people in this room. There's 30 here just a minute ago, and I was in the 27. And every single one, every single person here came here for a reason. They didn't come. Maybe if you trust me, you trust the program, you trust, that it's something you can learn. You want to be a part of it. It's infectious. And I blather on a lot, and I toad a lot about who we are and what we have done and where we've come. And I've stamped with that badge of honor, that heart on the sleeve of, you know, what we have done is righteous for as many people as we possibly can. But for people like yourself, Michael, and for people like Ken, and I know that David M works very hard at what he does, and Dan and Brian Morris and Dr. Brian Bonner as well. You all have different reasonings for being here, but with one goal in mind, and that's to make something more. And you're in a system that you have so many people who want to see you succeed and be a success. Myself, Brian, Amy, Michael, Dan, Ken, everybody here wants you to be successful because once you're in and you really see it, this isn't about drinking the Kool-Aid. You get to see it all on your own. The sincerity's there, the realness is there, the honesty and the integrity's there. And it's not just by me, it's by everybody in the network. Do we get the occasional person who comes in from competitors trying to milk us for everything we got? Absolutely. And I've met a handful of them on consults. I've done maybe 400 or 500 consults, and I probably met 3 or 4 of them. And boy, you get to know the sound of their voice as soon as they pick up that phone. You know what I mean? So, but the true understanding of who we are as a network is not about Max. It's not about just Amy or Brian. It's about all of us, even the people that are in this chat room right now, even the people that are in the chat room on the site that help people at 2 o'clock in the morning. They ain't there for anybody else but for themselves and for making a better life for themselves, but they still help. And so that then tells me that they're there for more. So I hope that you can find it in your heart to be a part of this company. And for those people that signed up that said new, and even the new person that just signed up, okay, I want to thank you for being a part of it. And if you're looking to sign up and be a part of it, we want you to save a few bucks. Now on indicators.net, on dexsignals.com, there is a Dex Save 50 coupon. This will save you $50 off your first month. Okay, because we know that in your first month you kind of learn and trying to figure stuff out. But we know that the system has worth. So even if you start new, okay, you can go in and start for free. You got some downtime. Use this system in there. Use the coupon. I'm not going to tell you to run in and go buy now because we want the money. But if you want to and you invest in the network, and remember, every penny goes to build this thing faster and bigger and harder and stronger, then please do. Please be a part of that solution for yourself. But remember, this is a tool for you, and I can only show you how to use the tool. I can't make you use it. I can't force you to trade. I can't come to your house and push the button for you. So you're going to have to apply some of that work. And if you have issues figuring out how to do that, go to the system. Go in the back office. It's very simple. Right in the back office of every single site and system we have is a membership portal. And this membership portal, every single one of them, wait for it, has this here to it. Book a consult. Yeah, and that's with me. Every single one of the websites has a contact us page. And this contact us page, every single website, each and every one has one common feature, the phone number. And guess who this leads to? That's right. If I don't answer, I'm busy. I call you back. It's that simple. And I do call back. I pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it's that important to me. Can I do that with 10,000 people? Maybe not. But I'm willing to go as long as you're willing to call until I can't pick up anymore. Until when I got to get somebody like Michael here to kind of help out and pick up the phone every once in a while.
I'm ready.
It'll never be some unpronounceable name person answering it, and it'll always be somebody that's worked the system who knows the answers and not a bunch of finger pointers and stuff like that. Amy and Brian have worked around this program their entire times here. They've helped build it, so they know it. They may not know all the trading answers, but they know where to get them, so it's that easy. All right. I don't want to take too much of your time because we want to get into your questions and answering. If you're watching this after the fact, I want to thank you for taking the time to do so. This is a difficult thing to do, especially if you're just starting out, to come back and watch a training video or a webinar. And if you gotten to this point, I want to thank you. It's very important that you've done what you just did. And I wish you the best of luck and trade well. For everybody else that's in the room, hang out, because we got some questions and answers that we get to answer for all you people that are here that have them, and we'll go from there. Michael, thanks a lot for being with us tonight as well.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. And you'll hear Michael on the very next webinar. We're going to have him come out after some training tomorrow morning with him and see how well he does tomorrow. So if you want to be out tomorrow, same bat channel, come check us out and see how well Michael does and help root him on and cheer for him. I'm Max, and this Nadex Indicators. Everybody else hang out in the room there.